this loop. Had that one in my pocket. You're welcome. Hi, hey, witches.
Hi, hello. I forgot to say I forgot what I was supposed to say. I my brain was so set on damn, I look like a puffer fish when you said that, because I just went.
So for those of you who weren't here on the episode I last talked about it, I've come up with a new game. This new recording platform gives us a 5-second countdown, and I just start saying the most unhinged shit during that 5 seconds to throw Emily off her game, and it's amusing. So
You also get some of the best facial expressions.
It's fine.
Listen, if my mouth don't say it, my face will.
Yeah, facts. Mine too. And sometimes I'll be in a meeting at work, and I'll get like a virtual meeting, and I'll get texts, and they'll be like, "Fix your face." And
it's
I'm like,
so funny.
No, they need to know.
They're fucking stupid. I was at an annual meeting for work, and somebody said something, a board member, I don't know, somebody said something, and it was incorrect, and my mouth was in the background, and Will's sitting next to me, and I just kind of take a peek at my boss, and she just looks at me, and her eyes are kind of wide, and shook her head no, and I was and then she texted me, and she was like, "Yeah, your face is showing everybody that is incorrect. You gotta stop." And I was like, "I'm so sorry." I think that threw me off.
Yeah.
Anyways, hi, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Hawaiian mythology.
Yes. So we were talking about this earlier. Hawaiian mythology is hard, y'all, because first of all, we've never been there.
Yeah.
And second of all,
it's not easily available for research.
Right, because I feel like a lot of it is passed through song and dance and verbally, and it's hard to find. So we have one book that we've been using to do this research, but it is written like a very dry textbook.
Listen, my brain cannot do textbooks right now. My schedule is so jam-packed with life. I can't.
Yeah. So
if I can't easily Google specifics, I need this is what is involved with this, and then start looking up resources that way.
Exactly. So we're struggling. And I think part of it is that or at least for me, I don't want to speak for Emily, but I feel like I'm not doing it justice because first of all, the pronunciations are really hard. And second of all, I just don't know that much. So
we're probably talking out of our ass and nothing's correct.
So we're just not excited about how this series of folklore is going. Not saying we're gonna give up on it. We're gonna keep powering through, but I would also love input from someone who either is of Hawaiian descent or knows more about it to get more of a feel of what this tradition, I guess, is about. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about the soul after death, and I don't remember what Emily's going to talk about.
Guardian gods.
The guardian gods, that's right. So I'm going to are you prepared to go first since we were talking about gods in the last one?
By all means, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, guardian gods, when you're thinking of that, and this is just because of how I grew up. When I think of guardian gods, I'm from a Catholicism standpoint, I'm thinking angels, a general protector of everything. In Hawaiian mythology, it's a little different. It's more ancestral. So it kind of is more like a you don't really see it in Lilo and Stitch, but in like Mulan, when they're talking about like the Great Stone Dragon and like
Oh.
how
I was like, Mulan is not Hawaiian.
no,
The
no, no,
fuck?
no, no, no. But like I couldn't use Lilo and Stitch. I don't fucking use that unless you want to say Stitch is the fucking like ancestral.
Right. But
I
doesn't she
say
say like the
ancestral.
Puff the fish is like
It's Puff the fish is a fish that she appeases with peanut butter sandwiches because
yeah.
she says that Puff the fish controls the weather, and the reason why is because her parents died on a very stormy night in a car wreck.
Yes.
So it's not like guardian, more of a like an appeasement. Please don't do this again, kind of thing.
Right.
Um, but so in like Mulan, they have the Thaw family have the they have the Great Stone Dragon. Um, that Mushu is supposed to wake up and blah blah blah. That's the great protector, and that will be the protector of Mulan. Um, so that's kind of the idea of this in the mythology of Hawaii. So I'm gonna ruin this. Amakua. It's got that like line across the A on this, like the A and the second A. So like I don't know if I'm supposed to like put enunciation on that. I couldn't really find a good guide. AUMAQKUA, sorry. But this
It
is
says ah. When the line is
ama
over it, then it would be
amakua
ah. And if it's over
amakua.
it says long stress. So if it's over an O, it would be like a, I don't know. It would be the same thing. Oh.
Amakua. I'm gonna go with that. Blame the Midwest accent. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, these are called the ancestral guardians, or that's Hawaiian native islander. That's the word for that. So these spiritual protectors, each family has I wouldn't say a different one. Like they can probably have like similar ones. But they play a crucial role in offering guidance, protection, and like, you know, the maintaining the sacred bond between the living and their ancestors. Um so we're going to talk about stories, the forms that they can take, um and you know, some traditions that people do for these specific guardians. So let's talk about what they are. So they often appear in various forms, such as animals specifically, or more often, I should say. They can also appear as natural elements or even objects. Each family, or as Stitch likes to say, ohana. Listen, I'm not a big Lilo and Stitch fan, but I love Stitch. Like the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. The movie just wasn't one of my vibes, but Lilo and or Stitch was fun. um so each family has their own ancestral guardian. And they are deeply respected and honored within that family. These guardians are believed to protect the family from harm, offer guidance through dreams or omens, and maintain a strong connection with the ancestors. This kind of also reminds me of like the Dios de los Muertos um, for the Hispanic culture, where they like have the I guess the altar of all of their loved ones that have passed.
Mhm.
I would say that's kind of like a guardian. That's like their version of a guardian. Um, guardian ancestors, basically. Um, so there's it's multifaceted, the roles and the functions of these guardians. So they are known to provide protection specifically by warding off danger and misfortune. So kind of like the evil eye in some cultures. Um, I guess the cross in Christianity, the triple moon or the Pentagon. I've said Pentagon. the pentacle in Wiccan or like, spiritual communities. They also play a significant role in traditional healing practices. So they assist in the process and ensure the well-being of the family. So they keep them healthy throughout. It's like an apple away keeps the demons away. Um, but most importantly, they keep the link between that ancestors and the living strong. They foster that sense of continuity and the respect for their heritage. So if that, I guess that bond, if that, loosens in any way, shape, or form, they start losing their sense of family, their sense of their ancestry, their heritage. It's when you get whitewashed, basically. It's kind of like what happens with the slaves. We learned about that. Did we learn about that? Maybe not. No, because we didn't go to the gardens.
Mm-mm. Not when I came. We learned about sordid
Syphilis.
history. Syphilis.
We did, though.
I mean, you're not
different
wrong.
Forms. We learned about it with the hookers. We learned about it with the pirates. But anyways, so yeah, these guys are kind of like that band-aid between your ancestors and your current self, and they kind of help keep that bond strong and helps you remember them and like kind of continue on throughout your life. So they obviously take various forms, different objects, whatever. There are some more common ones and there's less common ones. The more common ones are sharks, owls, and lizards. So sharks or mono, I believe. So some families revere a particular shark as their guardian, often recognized by unique markings and respected for its protective nature. Owls or pueo. Owls are another common form of guardians and are seen as protectors, specifically at night. Lizards or the mo'o, which we've had a story about. I don't want to say a lizard lady, but we did have a story about like a lizard guardian of some sort.
The mo'o?
In a previous episode. But lizards are associated with fresh water and agriculture, symbolizing guardianship over these essential resources. So some families revere them more than others. So, like I said earlier, these guardians are an integral part of Hawaiian life. Families present offerings and prayers to them, seeking their blessings and protections. Now, there are specific prayers that you can use towards each one, or you could use a prayer that has been passed down through your your ancestors throughout the generations. So you could use both of them to kind of help strengthen it. You can ideally you shouldn't combine them because that takes away from like what has been set in stone for years. But either way, you either use a personalized history prayer basically or you use a more common standard like this is a our father say your our fathers to Miss God kind of thing. And they also seek their blessings and protections throughout their life through hardships, through blessings or not blessings, but like through like successes, all of that. They also have carved stones or other type of symbols dedicated to them. And these symbols are often kept in the households or in their family shrines throughout their house or their land. I'm not saying that like Hawaiian, Polynesian is is it wrong to say Oriental? Is that incorrect?
Yes.
East, what's the correct term? Because everyone says East, and I'm like, they're west of me.
Like for Hawaiian?
Not
they're
Hawaiian, like, for Asian.
Just Asian Pacific Islanders, the ones that are on
Well,
islands.
so what I'm finding out through like my knowledge of what I know about like Asian cultures is that some of what Hawaiian culture does, like the shrines, like the family shrines, Asian cultures have that.
Okay.
Like in Mulan, when they have like a shrine to all the ancestors, like, or not Native Americans, well, no, Latin America, they have like shrines on like one day of the year, basically. So I'm like saying like I don't know if it's like what started where, or if it's just like from Polynesia, like on the merge, the Wayfinders, like if it just kind of like came around. But they have family shrines, they have symbols decorating their home dedicated to their specific guardian. Most often, these guardians will visit you in your dreams. If I had a guardian and they visited me in my dreams, they would be very concerned. I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was like, all these people are having some cool dreams, and like all these cool things happen, and it's like, I dream. I don't dream what you dream, and they all think it's like a nightmare, and like I wake up from like in a cold sweat, and it's like, no, you were in my dream. It wasn't sexual. It was you dressed up as a T-Rex, and you were chasing away a zombie. And you were going to eat this. Like, it's like weird ass off the wall shit. And I'm telling you, like, that's what I dream. That's all I dream.
I
I
love
wish
that for you.
I wish somebody would legitimately like crack the code on dreams, because I want to know more. And anyway, so these guardians will visit you in your dreams, and they can kind of, through that, they will help you decide on I guess your next steps, like where to go from here, how to, handle or just general like protecting you. But whenever your guardian does visit you, you must take it seriously, even if your brain doesn't want to take it seriously, because whatever is happening at this time, you should interpret it as some sort of guidance. And there's a lot of stories around the importance of these guardians. There are tales of the volcano goddess Pele. Her sister Ki'iaka is often assisted by their family's guardian, which enables her to heal and protect others. There's another legend that speaks of Mo'oinania. Ooh, I'm getting faster with these. Who is a powerful lizard guardian spirit that protects sacred areas and water sources. So there's, there's stories of these guardians in, obviously with other deities, stories passed down, and then there's more than likely going to be stories passed down within each family of their, like ancestral guardian of like your great grandfather had a dream that someday we wouldn't have fascists for our leaders. But guidance, what is a huge part of the role of these guardians, and protecting them throughout strife and successes, and just letting the good vibes roll. So I didn't want to take too much on the story of Pele, her sister, and their guardian, mainly because we will be covering Pele later on. So I kind of wanted to like just say that they're important in terms of deities have their own as well. So
Okay.
Yeah. There you
go. All right. So the soul after death. This was a very confusing chapter to read. It was a very long chapter, and it was very confusing. So the soul is Uhane, and the body is Kino. And so the soul and the body are independent of each other. Like, you can have your soul and not have a body, but you can't have a body and not have a soul. So the soul is capable of leaving the body through the lua uhane, which is the corner of the eye. Soul can get out through there. And then the body is lifeless without the soul. So the soul can wander during dreams or appear as an apparition, but that is dangerous because it can get trapped outside of the body. But there are protective rituals that can be done. So there's kahuna ceremonies where there's like a head wreath put on, and that helps keep wandering souls safe. What?
Her brain just restarted.
I'm confused about my notes.
You just like stared at your book for a good 30 seconds, and I'm just like, damn, she like had a reboot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be all right. So the next little section, I did this yesterday and I was not firing on all cylinders, so my notes are a little disjointed. The next little section is fear of spirits, or lapu. These characteristics, they're ghosts, basically. They resemble humans, they can speak with their living voice, and they can change size. But only gods can transform into different forms. Hawaiians avoid disturbing human bones, much like other indigenous cultures in America. Well, really, the world over. And they use the tea leaves to ward off spirits from food at night. They can use, if they're trying to identify spirits versus like a human, they can use ape leaves, where if the spirits walk through, they'll leave no trace of walking through. And they can also use, it's kind of like vampires, they can also observe reflections in water. Spirits don't show up in reflections in water. Now there are soul restoration practices. So if the soul hasn't left through the corner of the eye, it can re-enter the body starting from the feet. So they'll put fragrant plants, they'll do chants, and do purifying baths on the body to aid the soul returning to the body.
Is this how you cure depression? I feel like depression is linked.
It could be
to a lack of soul in your body.
It could work. Who knows? So there's a few legends that have to do with this, or with people retrieving souls from the underworld more so. So one of them, I'm gonna fuck this name all up, so I apologize in advance. The first name is Maluae, and the second name is Kali'i. Kali'i? I don't know.
Kali'i.
It's 2 A's in a row. Kaali, I with a line over it. Kali'i? Kali'i? Anyway, Maluae's son, Kali'i, dies after eating a banana that was sacred to the gods. Maluwe is grieving, and he stops feeding the gods. After 40 days, the gods repent, and they help him retrieve his son's soul from the underworld. Using a magical canoe, Maluwe navigates the spirit world and restores his son to life. So, that's one. The next one is Hiku and Koelu. Koelu is a beautiful woman, and Hiku is a man. He shoots an arrow, and it lands near her, and she tricks him into staying with her. Then, eventually, he leaves her, and she hangs herself, and her soul goes to the underworld. But Hiku uses a vine to, like, swing into the underworld. Or climb down into the underworld, I guess, and lures her soul back and restores it to her body.
That's kind of like one of the... Oh, what is it? Dante's Inferno. Right?
Oh, okay. I was going to compare it to Greek mythology.
Dante's Inferno.
What?
When Dante goes down and gets a soul, bring it back.
Well, specifically to Orpheus and Eurydice.
Eurydice. Eurydice. Have you ever seen the play?
No.
It's Eurydice.
That's dumb. I like Eurydice better.
Eurydice sounds so much more prettier than Eurydice. Eurydice.
Anyway.
That sounds like you're from Appalachia.
Anyway.
I'm looking this up.
Go for it. It doesn't really... I'm probably wrong. I don't have any, like, any backing for my...
You're white as shit. That's why you can't pronounce nothing.
And I didn't look it up. I didn't... There's nothing about that. So that's... Anyway, this story was compared to that myth of going to the underworld to save a loved one. There was another... Aleio was a chiefess. Her soul was fluttering around. It literally says cop fluttering. So it escaped her body, and it was restored to her body by the kahuna. There's another story of Kahalapuna, where a wife's soul is repeatedly revived after a jealous murder. So that's one. Then there are connections to other Pacific mythologies. So, I did not look up these, and I'm sure that these are even different, so I apologize. In the Maori tradition, Pare and Hutu, Pare dies after rejection, and Hutu retrieves her soul from the underworld using chants and rituals. Marquesas, Kina of Hivaoa, descends to retrieve his wife's soul, battling obstacles like clashing rocks. And Tahiti, Tafi'i, restores his wife's spirit from the underworld. Samoa, two brothers snatch a chief's soul from the gods during a dark ritual. So it's common across the Pacific Islands, this theory of being able to, like, bring souls back from the underworld.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Also, we were both wrong.
Oh, cool. How do you pronounce it?
Eurydice.
Oh.
I didn't say it as pretty as what I heard, but Eurydice. Okay.
All right. Well, we can both admit when we were wrong.
Unlike some.
Yeah, God. Anyway, we can't go on that side quest, or this will be a 6-hour episode.
I was just talking about everybody in the world.
Yeah, well, the news right now.
At least you got
Anyway,
TikTok.
that's a whole other side quest we don't have time for. Hawaiian worldview. These stories reflect the deep respect for the balance between life and death and the power of human connection. And echoes of those beliefs can be seen in modern Hawaiian cultural practices.
Do you think I don't want to say Hawaiian is more like tribal? They are, but like Native American and
Indigenous.
like indigenous.
Yeah.
I feel like indigenous is literally just people that lived there beforehand. So like I don't want to say that because it's
yeah, you're correct. But they are kind of tribal.
Yeah. I also feel like that. I don't know. I just don't want to piss, people off. But the wrong okay. I don't want to piss the right people off. There we go.
Yeah, I would just say that I hope that anyone that has listened to our podcast knows that we are attempting to come from a very open and loving place, and we're not trying to be assholes.
Yeah, because we grew up with assholes, and we don't want to do that no more.
And we welcome correction. So if we're wrong, please let us know.
Just be nice about it.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
We got corrected once, and I was like, that was rude.
Yeah. If you're nice about correcting us,
I looked that up. They were wrong too. But like, damn.
Correct us with respect, and we will absolutely accept that and correct ourselves on air. So
yeah, but I feel like a lot of the indigenous tribal kind of cultures, Native Americans, those who kind of like worship the earth and all that it offers, is so similar because it's like they have a strong connection with the living but with the dead. Kind of I see a common theme.
Yeah, I feel like anybody who is more in tune with nature is going to trend that way because you can feel it. Like, if you don't have your head so far up your preacher's ass, anyway, I digress. Anyone who is more connected with people and with nature is going to be able to feel the spirits around them. And then I thought that I had more to talk about, but my notes just repeated. I don't know what I did. If I like somehow copied and pasted, I don't know what I did. So my notes start over. So that's all I have. I'm kind of worried that I accidentally like cut off my notes because
I mean, it ended on a ending kind of note.
Yeah.
We circled back to life.
Yeah, we did.
We went from losing the soul to coming it back, the stories about that to coming right back.
Yeah. Into modern influence. So that is Guardian Gods and Hawaiian beliefs about the soul after death.
I just like cultures that have more about afterlife.
Yeah. I think there is more to come because I think some of the other legends that are going to come in the later episodes have to do with the underworld or afterlife. But we shall see.
I just think I don't know. I find it fascinating because it's like, how do you know? Like,
they don't. Faith. Have faith.
Yeah. But like some cultures are like believe in reincarnation, and it's like, all right, that's cool.
In those cases, though, there is some like evidence,
some like creepy ass sayings from like 3-year-olds, but I don't know. I think it's kind of dig it. Like when you
Yeah.
have like more stories about the afterlife. Like
Excuse me. God,
growing
that
up
was
with like
gross.
Christianity, you really only hear it's like you want to get to heaven. It's like what's
And if
in
you don't,
heaven?
you'll burn in the fiery pits.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, what's in hell?
Right,
Like there's a story of Jesus doing something for 40 days and 40 nights in hell, but he literally just traipsed through a desert. And that was from a picture or like a story that I read. Like, is that true? Like, did he actually go through the desert or was he in hell? And was that just the kid version of it? And then I
right.
was like, okay, but like, what are the 12 circles of hell? Well, that's from Greek. That's not even like, related.
Yeah. But most of, and I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes or push any buttons, but most of Christianity is cherry picked from other mythology.
Oh, yeah.
For
It's
sure.
it's an ancient religion, but not considered an ancient an
Yeah.
ancient life. I forgot the word. Ancient world is basically what I'm going for, but in Hawaiian is one of those, so that makes sense that it's kind of going through everything. But yeah.
Okay.
All right. Until next time, we'll talk more about more gods, more stories, more of the in between.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.